All right, back to work here on the 1970 Dodge Charger, and what I'm working on today is taking apart some of the dash components. Found a gentleman in Michigan that's going to help me restore the dash. Some of you guys are super handy and you just get after it. I am more laxed on time than I am anything else with 4 kids and a business, and all of our kids are in activities, and this project's been going on for a long time, so I am trying to find ways to speed that up. So today I'm tearing the dash apart. We're going to go get the more complicated pieces sent up to the gentleman so he can get started on them. You'll notice the dash cluster is out already, or the gauge cluster is out already. I already have it packaged up over here, getting ready to go. I'm taking the rest of the dash apart. And what I am struggling with at the moment is getting the radio out. The ashtray is a little bit simpler. You just pull up on this little tab right here, and that whole assembly comes out there. And then take out these 2 screws here. And the whole thing comes out with it. Somebody had already, I'm not sure where this wire goes, but somebody had already broken that wire. So this made that a little easier to come apart because it's broken. The thing I'm currently struggling with is I have the 4 bolts, or screws, whatever, they're not bolts. The 4 screws out of the front radio bezel. And then on the back side of the radio, there is a bracket, and I'm assuming that's the ground when the nut's on there. But I have all that stuff loose, and the radio still doesn't want to come out. So something is holding it up. When I look back here, it appears to like it's that bolt head right there. I don't know if that's it or not, but the bezel is loose. They won't come out. So looked all over for videos on these. I don't want to break it, so I'm gonna turn this thing off and play with it for a minute. Okay, I went against my better judgment, but figured this had to be similar to modern day cars, and the radio knobs would come off, and these do, and then the trim rings just come right off with it, and then the face plate or bezel, whatever they call them. So those just go back together just like that. That was the piece that was holding me from getting that done, and now these 2 screws right here on each side are bolts. So take those 2 bolts out right there. You can see the little dowel pin right above the bolt hole that locates it. Drop down what I believe to be the nut that grounds it, or just holds it in the back. Maybe it doesn't ground at all. And then the radio just drops out the back side. So that was a little bit of a project I was struggling with. Couldn't find any videos on there, but like, man, this cannot be this complicated. So one of the things we're going to do, I don't want to upgrade the radio because this is an original car, all numbers matching. One of the cool things that he talked about doing, we're going to update the clock to quartz and the gauges, and we are going to put a Bluetooth link in the radio so we can just Bluetooth into it, but it'll still have the stock look, and it'll still have the AMF, or actually this is just an AM radio. This is not a AM FM AM radio, but it'll have Bluetooth, so my daughters can play their music and enjoy the ride. So I thought that was a cool little thing that he suggested or said he could do that I wanted to go with. So I'm gonna keep tearing this thing. I took the ashtray out. I took the glove box cover off, showed you that. I went ahead and got that out of my way, but glove box itself is completely destroyed, which is just, you know, cardboard material of some sort. So we'll throw that in the garbage, be done with it. Pulled off a few other other trim panels. I mean, the thing really is not in bad shape, but it's just old and dirty, and while we have it apart and all of the rest of the stuff we're doing, I just figured it was a good time to go through it and get it all done. So I'm going to pull out the rest of the trim pieces, get rid of them. The dash pad is right here. It is it's not in terrible shape. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cracks along the way here, but it's the original. It's all in one piece. He seems to think we can tune her right up. The guys he uses are going to recover that with the original stuff and get that thing looking good. The glove box door is in good shape. This thing did have the light package, so it has the little detent for the light to come on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the map light and the HVAC controls here and finish pulling out the vents and this last trim piece here and go from there. Okay, so I mean, you don't really need a lot of tools to that's for something I'm doing later, but you don't really need a lot of tools to get after it. I just used a couple sockets out of this little kit here, but the side vents for the HVAC, there is a little Allen down in that hole right there, and just back that out a couple turns. Those things pop off, and then these vents basically just rotated out through the hole, and then I just put the handles back on. All of the trim pieces were just screwed in from the back side. It's got a little crack right there. I'm not sure what we might have to do with that. The defrost vent, and the other one, another trim piece from the glove box side of the car, wasn't bad. This piece went up under the passenger side. I'm not sure if this is like a cover for the heater box or what this is. It's not painted. It's busted up in a few pieces. I'm not really sure what's going on with that one. We'll have to do some more research. The detent for the glove box light comes up pretty easy. You just push these things in, very similar to the emergency brake cables on the rear of the car. Map light was three screws and it came out. So yeah, there is the control for all of the HVAC stuff. Hopefully it can all be looked after and is in good shape. Everything worked when the car was parked. That's a famous line I hear when these guys go buy cars out of barns. John Clay Wolfe and Richard Rawlings and fellas like that, they always laugh when the owner says ran and drove when it was parked. So this thing ran and drove when it was parked. That was a long time ago. So anyway, we got here, showed you the dash pad, another trim piece. This is the center trim piece with the louvers in it. That's just the left right thing. They don't even cover all the way across, which looks like maybe we got a few missing. Ashtray and the radio bezel. So anyway, this thing's apart. I'm gonna get in touch with the gentleman who is gonna redo it. I'm gonna get all this stuff boxed up. He's also gonna go through the wiring harness, which I had over here in a box. I just didn't show you, but it kind of looks like a bit of a hornet's nest over here. The radio and destroyed glove box, but got all my hardware together, so hopefully I don't flip it. But the wiring harness for the whole car is in here. Kind of looks like a hornet's nest to me. He has experience going through those, and he is going to check everything out and recondition it, and we're going to go from there. So I would prefer to keep as much new or as much original stuff in here as I can, just because that's the type the car is. So the things like the dash, front grille, things of that nature are kind of important to me to keep as original as possible. So anyway, all right, that's a disassembly on a dash. Hopefully somebody needs some help, learn something there. I've been using YouTube a lot, so believe it or not, AI Google Gemini is who helped me get the radio apart and said that those front knobs came off. I really tried myself. Common sense just says that's how all radio knobs and most of your, on your modern day cars, your heater knobs and things of that, blower fan knobs, they all just pull straight off. And I was pulling on those things, and they weren't budging, and I just didn't want to break something. So I reached out to a few people who thought that was the same as well, and then I put it into AI. So I guess it's good for something. I'm not a huge AI fan, but anyway, in this case, it said that those knobs came off and gave me a little bit of confidence there to I used a big flat blade screwdriver to just slowly pry them forward, and then once they started moving, they came off. So anyway, hopefully hopefully somebody needed something out of this, and if they didn't, hopefully you just enjoyed the video. Thanks.